The creation of the Bilingualism and Multiculturalism Commission was seen by many as to be a blessing in which we curb the rate of hate speech in Cameroon and further consolidate national unity, promote diversity, and ensure equitably distribution of language and cultural promotion across the different regions of Cameroon. At the time when it was created, many Cameroonians lauded the initiative as it will help to encourage the head of state, President Paul Biya, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Force, guarantor of national security and sovereignty, to be a bilingual president and head of state by one day addressing the nation in English in his end-of-year discourse, or why not in his usually of February discourse. It was an initiative many also applauded, that it will also help the military of Cameroon that has dominantly been French to be bilingual, and other ministries across the nation to be bilingual, and also reduce les anglophones, les francophones, les bêtis, les nordis, les moutons, les sardinats, les tontinats. Ever since this body was created, many who thought it will be a body to curb hate speech are thinking twice on having questions to pose as whether or not this commission is able to do its job very well. Recently, ministers converged at the conference hall of the Ministry of Communication, in which it was issued that hate speech is on the rise in Cameroon. Truly, it is on the rise in Cameroon. With the advent of the Anglophone crisis, the surge of hate speech has been unprecedented, with many calling those who are from different regions as Le Grafi, Le Bamenda, Le Amazon Commission. Helpless they are, as we continue to see on national television, people tagging others when they disagree with their views. It is very common these days to see how if somebody disagrees with you, you easily insult the person by using derogative languages. Even in our secondary schools, it is now taking a new dimension, with parents letting others to know that when you are with children of a certain ethnic group, this is how they are. It is quite funny. When it comes to marriage and love relationship, we don't know whether you are from north, west, east, and south. When it comes to the level of us playing football, we don't know whether you are from the north, east, and south, or west. But when it comes to political issues, then you are said you are from this area, you are this and you are that and you are this. But the children that we have, when we are in the bed and core of our bedroom, we don't care to know where the woman is coming or the man is coming. We profess our love without any aspect of hatred. But when it comes to political decision, we then are quick to say, hey, no, you know what, this person is from this region. We're asking the question, with the increase in hate speech in Cameroon, is the Bilingualism and Multiculturalism Commission helpless? And what will it take for our Commander-in-Chief to at least address us one day in English? This is House of Commons with me, Javis. You're welcome back from that break. If you are just joining us, you're watching House of Commons with me, Javis. To kickstart today's program, I'll introduce you my guest, with whom we are going to talk for about 1 hour 30 minutes on issues regarding the topic of today: hate speech increase in Cameroon, new level, and there is the Bilingualism Commission helpless, and what can be done to reduce hate speech in Cameroon to further consolidate national unity. But before then, I want to wish you a very happy birthday to you, Sandra Fofe, who is celebrating the birthday today. Happy birthday to you, Sandra. May the good God continue to guide you and bless you as you celebrate your birthday. May you have many more years in this day of celebration to you, Sandra. I begin by my guest, Mr. Dewum Emmanuel, who is the co-founder of the New Era Youth for Africa, one of an organization across Africa that is struggling to bring in a new dimension of African politics where we can respectfully disagree to agree and promote our values that bind us and focus on what unite us than what divide us as African. That African solution must be provided by Africans and not by the West, and that is why NEA is here in Africa and in Cameroon as a host to preach the gospel of unity and Pan-Africanism. Dewum Emmanuel, happy Sunday and thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much, Javis, and Good afternoon to all the viewers of House of Commons. I want to take this opportunity to greet the fun of COM. COM happens to be one of the most prestigious palaces in Africa, not only in Cameroon. That has never been shaken, even by the white man. That explains why when the FOCOM left the COM Palace, we never used force to bring it back to the COM Palace. And the custodians of the Palace of COM have so far successfully maintained the tradition of that land to make sure that everything, even the gods of that land, remains appeased. So this particular Sunday, I say a high shout out to the fun of COM, who keeps the COM people in great unity. Thank you for having me.
Yisima. Here in the studio we have also senior barrister Ashu Emmanuel, who is the president of the Reform Party and a very vital force when it comes to Cameroon's political issue. He has been someone that is a firm believer of justice and think that nobody is supposed to be above or below the law, and that the law is the law, with the Reform Party coming in to provide solutions to Cameroonians that will best tackle the problem, reduce corruption, fight against indecency, and also ensure equitably distribution of resources with the respect of one cultural heritage. Senior Barrister Ashu also believes that we must, in all honesty, respect institutions and also have the powers that should be decentralized to the lowest level necessary and highest level possible. He's here with us. He is also a senior man when it comes to legal issues. Happy Sunday to you, Arena.
Thank you, Mr. Javis. I never knew that you could speak a Jagam.
At least I know Cheme Manyo.
That's Bayangi. Okay. Happy Sunday to all members and sympathizers of Reform Party, and a special one to you, Mr. Nana Gimele in Germany. All the members of Reform Party in the Northwest region, the Southwest region, in the East, in the extreme North, a special good afternoon. Well, Mr. Tamai Javis has, in his own way, resumed what we stand for. But let us say that we don't stand for reducing corruption. We stand for ending corruption, putting an end to it. It is not something that should be reduced. We have the means to put an end to corruption. Anyway, we shall have time to talk about that.
Thank you very much. I hope that one day we'll have a one-on-one on this issue so that we can actually tackle it as far as the Reform Party is concerned, looking at the fact that we're moving towards 2025 and also a political possible transition. And here in the studio, we are joined by someone who is also from the Southwest region, a very veritable force that is there to guide the youth and to make sure that we must respectfully disagree. He has been someone that has been fighting for justice as far as the Southwest and Cameroon is concerned. And he is here with us all the way from the town of legendary hospitality. Stephen Mambo, Mula Omaja, Omane.
Temene, Mr. Javis, Namaja.
Aliai?
Naliai. Oliai. You are coming. You pay fine. You've been in Moya for long. You should be better, but it's okay. I am glad to be here. I am glad to be with you. I want to say happy Sunday to the viewers out there. I want to say warm greetings to Barrister Ashu here, Dr. Ako, and of course, Mr. Emmanuel. I say good afternoon to all of you. I'm glad to be amongst you guys to give our inputs as far as the building of our nation is concerned. Hope it will be a great time. Thank you.
Thank you very much. When we talk about fighting against injustice, when we talk about also that the respect of the Constitution, one name is common in Cameroon as a civil society actor. He has also ensured that we should not also underlook the crime being committed by both sides when it comes to also the Northwest and the Southwest conflict. And he believes that for Cameroon to grow, Cameroonians, starting from the top, must begin by respecting what is written and not what they think it is in their brain, and that until the rule of law is respected, regardless of who we are, we cannot move forward as a nation. He is Dr. Ako John Ako. Dr. Ako John Ako, I'm tempted to say Echina.
So it's not really very easy. I would like to thank Senior Barrister. I just told him outside there that it's been a while. I've not met with him again on a platform. And I thought he has had more money now. That's why. In Cameroon, when people had a lot of means, they don't go closer to where they was. That's when people start thinking that they are more dangerous now. So it's always funny that when you were poor, your people, when you have riches now, you keep away from them. He told me, no, that's not true. So I tend to believe him very well. More to that, again, Mr. Stephen Wambo, he has been doing very great these days. The guy has come up to a level one was not thinking, but I think he's going to do better. And to help us again, they are the people at the level we call ground zero. When I see him coming and going out every day, it is not easy. Myself, it's not easy for me crossing Mongo. So I always think psychologically, spiritually prepared before I go off the other end. So, and another good friend, Mr. Ndiume Mawel, you know, is my own man that we pass a lot of time together and coming on a platform and sharing it. Cameroonians are waiting for a lot. Cameroon yesterday celebrated a National Day. When I asked the question whether it is National Day or it's Unity Day, a lot of people have been unable to explain what we are celebrating. Many keep on thinking that they celebrated a national day, and I asked, what is National Day for Cameroon, when we know that the two nations came together in 1961, meaning the Anglophone Cameroonians joined the La République that got its independence on the 1st of January 1960, while the others on the 1st of October 1961. And so somewhere there was confusion of what day should be celebrated as the National Day of Cameroon. But then the 20th of May 1972 equally remains in the mind of Cameroonians, that Ayijo, tussles and maneuvers over the lawmakers of then West Cameroon to join in Congress in Yaoundé, and within 6 days a law was voted and that day was celebrated. And today we believe that there was no supposed to be a change in the name and the composition of the state, thinking with the premises of Article 47 of the Federal Constitution 1961 that state clearly from Fumban that for us to have such changes, the two houses of parliament must vote independently and with at least a two-third majority. But this was not what was done, and that even when it was said it should be untouchable, that the form of the state should be untouchable, Cameroonians celebrated yes very well yesterday. But to what extent has Cameroonians had peace 51 years after? We look at the north in part of Cameroon, we are talking of the Boko Haram. In the east we talk of the Seleka. We come in the northwest and the south we talk of the Anglophone crisis. Then now you find in the central region Yaoundé today a lot of haphazard killing and disappearance of babies, children and mothers in Douala, harassment by men of the underworld, a lot of stealing, armed robbery, a lot of Cameroonians, 51 years, unable to live the plight and the light of the nation. Many Cameroonians abroad have become homeless, others pitiful of their situation, some in the jungle, some in waters, others climbing hills. Cameroon, 51 years of national unity. Is it really worth celebrating?
Thank you very much, Barrister Ako John Ako. It depends on how and what we stand, because members of the other parties, not Barrister Ashu's party, but of the other party that we know we say is worth celebrating. We want to welcome all those of you joining us on social media platform. And also, before we start on the topic of today, I want to thank you, Mr. Robert Nyam, who is in the United States of America, panelist with us on the House of Commons team that has been doing a very good job as far as helping those who are in need is concerned, and also helping the program in itself to ensure that we move on with strength and strength. We want to say thank you very much, Mr. Nyam Robert, and may you continue not to lack, and God should be with you. The most Allah, the creator of the fourth heavens and most merciful, continue to shower his mercy upon you. Senior Barrister Ashu, I begin with you to look at this program. That was 3 or 4 days ago, 4 ministers converged at the auditorium or the Ministry of Communication, they talked about the increase of hate speech in Cameroon, and that is on the rise. When we look at these, we were of the opinion, or some of us were of the opinion, that the Bilingualism Commission will really help in resolving this hate speech. But since it was created, the hate speech level has gradually or really increased. What is the problem? Is it that they're helpless, or what could be the problem? You are a president of a political party aspiring to be the president of the Cameroon, God willing, and how, when you look at this situation, what can you make of it?
Thank you very much. I'm happy you say some ministers came together to talk about hate speech, and if my memory is not failing me, as some elder said in his own days, I remember one of the champions of hate speech was a minister of state, who went on air to say étranger rentrez chez vous, and nothing was done to him. You see, look, blame should be apportioned where it belongs. When the people who are at the top, those who are held as the top elites, commit this type of offense and are allowed to go scot-free, you tend now to be talking to, bilingualism committee. No, sir. They are the ones who started it, and if they recognize, they now realize, have come to their senses that hate speech is not good, let them call their peers who started this thing and ask them to apologize to the nation. It is unheard of that a member of government would say that type of thing. Strangers, go back to your home, go back to your land. No, this is not possible. And you see, we should consider that this nation is a state of law, and any person, like you said, nobody is above the law. If any person, no matter his rank, no matter his status, commits this type of offense, he should be brought to book. Don't leave him there because he's a minister, and then you wait until the situation has become rotten, then you start crying. When you look at the bilingualism and multiculturalism commission, well, the name may want to signify that, well, it is something that can handle hate speech. Well, what is the mission that was given to this commission? It was to see that, documents leaving ministries are translated in both languages, that people are not considered second-class citizens by reason of their languages. It is not hate speech. That commission has no tool or instrument to solve hate speech. I want to think that the government in power should take this issue seriously and come up with, if it's a commission they want to come up with, they should put a commission on the table that should go to the depths of it and find the real cause or causes of this hate speech. Going by what we see on social media, it is, on the one hand, the desire to dominate other communities that brought some fellows. You see others will say, you are sardina. Sardina meaning what? That you people eat bread and sardine. Bread and sardine because during campaigns, a certain political party will serve bread and sardine to its militants. Yes, they are serving bread and sardine. What are you serving to your own people? No, this is nonsense. Why should you use that as an insult? Why do you use that as it? Look, I want to advise Cameroonians. One of the ways that this thing can be curbed, if somebody uses that on you, come to the lawyers. We have a medicine for them. I mean, it is a criminal offense for you to insult somebody. Take him to the lawyers, and he'll be dragged to court, and he will face the brunt of the law.
But Senior Barrister, you say take him to lawyers, but there's a brief challenge here where when some of those who are supposed to preserve these are actually caught off guard, saying this same hate speech. How do you prosecute this same person? We believe no one is supposed to be above the law, but how do you take the law to the law?
What do you mean by how do you take the law to the law?
Take the law to the law?
In this very country, Estimuna, as Prime Minister of West Cameroon, was prosecuted, was taken to the court. John Gumfoja was taken to the court. In this very country, I think there are lawyers who have taken the Minister of Justice to the court. Minister Atangaji, what do you mean?
Now
nobody is above the only person in this country who cannot be taken to court is the President of the Republic.
No, who should be taken to court?
No. There's a constitutional amendment that said he cannot be taken to court.
Now the outcome. Taken to court, now the outcome.
Yes, that's the only person.
Even said even after office.
That's the only person. So Bring me the person you think has committed an offense and see what becomes of him.
Now we are looking at the outcome. Yes, taken to court is one thing. Now the outcome.
What outcome? If he is found guilty of the offense, he will be prosecuted. He'll be convicted, and justice will be seen done.
Okay, Senior Barrister, we're coming back to you. Dewum Emmanuel, when we look at this issue, the communique itself, which I will read it when we are some part of it, but when we look at the increase in hate speech in Cameroon, is the Bilingualism Commission helpless?
Tama Javis, you need to know that I have often said it, and I will repeat this afternoon, that the bet on which the intercourse that took place to give birth to hate speech in Cameroon happened is in a today. No, let's be very frank. It starts right from the top, getting down to the bottom. Those poor women and those poor parents watching us today do not have the opportunities to be on television. But it is these people who have the opportunity to use the public space and they have been misusing it are those people who have been propagating hate speech. When a president comes out and calls people apprenti sorciers, when the president comes out and say les petits partis politiques, and then you see his disciples take to social media handles and they're spreading it every day, glorifying the president. They use it now that's hate speech. That is where I don't agree with Senior Barrister when he says they should bring. These are things that utterances met on public spaces, and you people, able lawyers, are supposed to check these files without waiting that we should bring the people to you. Now, when I say the responsibility of hate speech in Cameroon should be placed squarely in a study, I've cited you some examples that the head of state himself takes the lead in such things, being emulated by his party comrades, whom we all know that they have been using this as a tool of divide and rule. Because anybody who has been very keen in observing the political manifestations in Cameroon will bear it with me that if Mr. Biya is still in power today, 90% of his strength is in divide and rule. And to divide and rule, it comes from hate speech. When you make somebody to know that a Bamileke can never be a president in this country, an Anglophile cannot be a president in this country, power can never go back to the Northerners, you are making the people to be divided so that they cannot have a common ground to speak with one language and have a common thought. Of course, he has been succeeding. He has been succeeding. I want to tell you that right back in 1996, in a tripartite, when the whole nation was coming, to look for a common ground to see how the country could move ahead, a senior statesman, whom today is part of the Constitutional Council, made it clear Anglophones were Biafras. We did not invite you people to come. If you are not happy, you can go. That's hate speech. In an avenue where people are struggling to find a common ground for Cameroon to live together as one, he went unpunished. Later on, he was compensated. We have the case of a sitting minister of justice telling a member of a parliament of a nation who represents the people of his constituency and the nation at large, we did not ask you people to join us. The 2 cubes of sugar that join us are, these are facts that are verifiable. We have another one who said the minority can never disturb the peace that we have in this nation. So we have to deal with that minority. All those things put together. You have a governor who comes out clearly and calls the people under his jurisdiction dogs. And he's maintained in a state where the rule of law is still very active and vibrant. Such a man, the next morning, would have been taken out of that office and taken to the court of law. Yet, since they are the owners of law and they are above the law that is seated there, they continue propagating hate speech. We are talking in a country where professors who are supposed to be the thinking tanks of the nation have become political propaganda and stooges in the hands of CPDM. They go on air, they tell the world that it will take miracle for two regions to ever unite together or to ever speak together. It is hate speech. Nobody condemns it. Somewhere, I want to think that in Cameroon, from the way Mr. Biya has been ruling, it has given a leeway for such negativity, because when you sound negative, you are promoted. We saw at the advent of the Anglophone crisis how those who said there was no Anglophone crisis and people took up guns as they were fighting in the bushes, it benefited such people, and today they are called ministers in this very country. Where are we going to? You recently saw the outing of one fellow in Yaoundé called Sebastien Ebala, saying that Anglophone women are stinking. They are smelling.
He was arrested. Yeah.
I am telling you that as we speak now, he's a free man, walking free on the streets of Yaoundé. After this program, verified. Sebastien Ebala was relaxed.
He was given bail.
He was given bail.
No, but I am saying that
until he's proven guilty by the law.
So he's not yet guilty?
No, he bail.
Anyway, maybe senior barrister has an information about that I don't have. But I know of some other people, Southern Cameroonians, who were arrested for no reason, and they were also denied the same bail that we are talking about, senior barrister. So it means that we're in one nation with two different treatments to two different people. Because if that utterance came from somebody from Northwest or Southwest, I am very sure. I know some people will say, I want to regionalize, or I am very sure that the person will not have been granted bail, Tama Javis. I want to think it is time for those sitting on the laws of this country to stand up and give chance to those who can execute such laws. Because if we believe that Cameroon is a state of law, anybody who does hate speech or who utters such words should be arrested and punished severely. I mean severely. Until that is done, there will be nothing that the Bilingualism Commission can do. The Bilingualism Commission ends on paper. I want to tell you, and I want to assure you, that those people who are even manning the Bilingualism Commission form part of the proponents of hate speech in this country. We saw in Boya 2 years ago, when one of the members even made it clear that the problem plaguing our region is brought by the graffiti people. And then I am asking myself, how can you be telling a thief to go and advise a thief? It is unheard of. And then you understand that the problems of Cameroon is because those who create the problems in the country are those who are later on handpicked to become solution givers. And until we change from such a behavior, nothing will change it.
Hello, Javis. The house is full of my people. I greet you all. I have taken a comfortable seat waiting for Anglophone intellectuals to pour me knowledge. Big Brother Barrister Ashu of Big Brother Barrister Ashu of the Big Brother Reform Party. I wish to change my former party to yours. How do I get to your leader in Boya? Brother John, you impress me, my children so much. Thank you, my brother from Com. You are very right with your contribution. What is Mancho BBC doing in Yaoundé? Thank you very much. This one, right, it says, happy Sunday to you. Nice program. This one also read, it says, hello, greetings to you. Kudos. Javis, for your excellent intro. Bilingualism Commission is of no use. It should be dissolved with immediate effect. Why should we talk about debt commission anyway when we have the important things to talk about to find solution? Monday Roman is writing from Boya. Barrister Ako John Ako, I'll continue with you before coming to Mr. Stephen. Barrister, he made some of the issues that have been raised, and I'm sure that was before the Bilingualism Commission was formed, like the apprentice associate and the Bible. You go to church now, the Bible says all things have passed away, and behold, all things have become new. And also, law doesn't work in retrospect. And when a law is put forward, we don't go back in retrospect. We are looking now back in what has been done when the law was instituted. When we look at all these aspects now, we have had an increase in hate speech from schools, secondary schools, universities, where you also have professors having issues with students from a particular region and insulting them, the Mutong, the Grasfi, the this, that. Recently, the case in the home site in Yaoundé, which took the nation by storm when once somebody said, I would not like to use the word because it's like promoting what he said. When we look at this, even some members of this Bilingualism Commission have been caught off guard using the same hate speech, and even some of them in the recently ended Southwest Forum, which I will not want us to talk about, some of these issues that were raised by the Guardian Post newspaper. We would not like to talk about some of those things. Why is it so difficult to handle hate speech and so easy to look at other crimes in Cameroon, of which all are crimes anyway?
Yeah, when you look at it, you realize that the fighting hate speech and even its content in Cameroon is normal. It is going to be very difficult. For us to understand very well, you should equally try to look at the understanding of the meaning of hate speech. The meaning of hate speech and the purpose for which it is used. You realize that in Cameroon, one of it is that it is always public, and secondly, you realize that it has an intent to denigrate, to reduce, to violate, to intimidate, and at times we say to vilify. You find it that hate speech in itself in Cameroon is used again in line with the policy of divide and rule. Divide and rule, which means that we create a more weaker of those people who call the grassroots, or those who are at the base. When we divide them, they will be weak. And so when you see a professor telling you that over his dead body and that the Northwest and the Southwest will never come together, it is already telling you that he is using that as his own political tool to win the trust of the people as his own base. We were told yesterday and in many forums that even those who use hate speeches within certain time, their popularity has instead increased, meaning somewhere they have instead gained the trust of their electorate rather than being condemned by the state, which means somewhere hate speech today in Cameroon has become an instrument of political positioning. And you know very well that since the advent of the Anglophone crisis, what Anglophones have done among themselves is creating hate speech forums. Hate speech forums when those who are thought to be of separatists, the others unionists and other federalists, come out most often than not with some type of languages and giving names. Those names are used to ignite an opposite end to equally give to the public and the state that they are in support of the government. One of it, you realize, is what we call of recent the Southwest Peace Forum and Development Forum, which was conducted at the forefront of bringing peace in the area. And the questions we asked, was that forum really based for peace, or was it based on hatred? More than 10 speakers, the main key leaders of that forum, used hate speeches in all their, how can I say, in all their voices. Please, I said most, I have not said all. Okay. I said most of those key leaders within the conference had traces of hate speech in their presentations. And it gave us an idea that somewhere they wanted to make a plight to the Prime Minister and tell the government of Cameroon that the Prime Minister is different since it's coming from the Southwest and the trouble is coming on the other end. Then you find some people telling you that if you hate the Southwest Peace Conference, form your own the Northwest Peace Conference. It was not to be antagonistic. It was not, I mean, it is not a conflict situation. We were doing it for the purpose of Cameroon, not even for the purpose of the Southwest. And many will tell you that a lot of those speeches which have become institutionalized, because you find somebody telling you that Northwesterners are those whom we have called them Kamnoko. That word went freely, and we use them freely in our streets, which means again somewhere another person in somewhere around Saint Malima were told that le manger de tarot ne peut jamais gagner au pouvoir. Just imagine it becomes a public. Stores were looted and burnt and everything, up to now, we are still waiting what the government is going to do. So somewhere you realize that it helps and assists government in ruling and gaining position. And what I've said for 41 years, since President Paul Biya became the president of this nation, his intention was to manage political power. And managing political power, every act or lapses in governance which he thinks is of his advantage will be used. And so one of it is hate speech. And tribalism, ethnicity has developed. That is what they did not equally mention. That Cameroonians today have become more individualistic than they were 40 years ago. We had the love for fatherland. There was that aspect of patriotism, which today it is no longer the same. It's that Cameroon belongs to us all, but you live your life just you alone, and only God knows who feeds your family and I. The moment we get to power, we need to bring a lot of propaganda around us that will secure that space and nobody come closer to it. In the southwest, and particularly, I would not like to insist that the Backwarians have been at the top and the forefront of such agenda.
No,
and
no,
we
no,
have
no,
said,
no,
please.
no, 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 no,
No, please.
I think let's not call. Let's not go type. No, 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 no.
Please.
No, no, no.
Speak.
I hear you speak now, barrister.
Yeah, let me speak.
Barrister, but let's not call.
You said we are talking hate speech.
Yes, but
and
not,
we should know where
no,
we
not
should start telling people where the problem is.
No, yes.
Or you don't want us to say the problem.
No,
you don't want us to say the
we
problem.
know we stigmatize. Some people may
it
have.
is not stigmatization. We are talking of the Bakwari land problem.
Continue. You cannot
I know you know of the Bakwari land
yes,
problem.
Yes.
Which has never finished.
We
up
cannot
to today.
be fighting hate speech with hate speech.
But no, that is what it is. They said they have built and they have to carry their houses back to their villages. That you should know. It's an aspect of hate speech. How do you sell land to somebody today and tomorrow you accuse the same person of taking your land? Is that possible? Have you seen that anywhere? Somewhere I wrote and I told people, if Douala was not so gentle, Douala wouldn't have been the metropolis that we have today. And if we were fighting with Douala people every day on land, I don't think Douala would have been what it is. And any country, any town that intends to advance and to develop should know that there are what we call corporate social responsibility. Even when you accept a school or a university, the parents around that environment know that there's going to be congestion. And congestion will mean your quarter, your own home will be full. Your room, the rooms you had in your house, which were not intended for rentage, sometimes you may shift people and you create part there to have your 3,000 or 4,000 for rent. And the consequences will be there. Those children who are children of other people or persons coming from far, if there is headache somewhere, you as a landlord, you intervene. At times not because they are your people. But when today you go to somewhere and people are telling you that Le Bamenda, those Bamenda, it is aching. And you find the word Bamenda now being used as a hate agenda. You know that. Even at the level of government, people have said it. Le Bamenda, Les Anglophone. And
even the Francophone, even some areas in the southwest region.
Yeah, you find it.
It's not.
It is not comfortable. And we should be capable to have the courage to tell the people that is not right. Just imagine, in Boya, we have the CDC, we have the Sonara. How do you remove people from such area? I came to Douala. I might have settled in Douala and built. Yes, I took the land from one Basa. So tomorrow the Basa should come down. I have cheated him because he built a 2-room apartment in his own land and I built 6 stories. That should be a problem. It shouldn't be. I never use force on that. And that is where we are saying that.
A gentleman agreement.
Yes. That is why at the level of the Fako area, there is a need for social education.
Everywhere, not only Fako.
No, I said where the conflict we have solved it on TV here. The Bakwari land problem has been discussed here on this very channel.
We will also have the land conflict in the northwest region and between the people.
We have not stopped talking.
The Balikumba crisis,
yes,
the womb and the
womb grazier land
problem. So it's everywhere.
We have been at so you should not stop us talking others. Good enough you know those conflicts.
No, but I don't want a particular like a
now that you have cited examples, that is which is necessary. And we should not stop us citing it. Those rights and their properties.
Thank you very much.
So why do individuals feel that some are not supposed to be somewhere and that others are supposed to stay in their region? It's just like Senior Barrister is here. I believe we were talking of yesterday. Just the intro you entered here.
Okay.
We'll talk of those who are at the council. You should be only an indigene or somebody that was born from there.
Good afternoon to you and your team, Mr. Javis. His speech is very difficult to fight against it. No matter how you fight against it, is it right? It is right up to Yaoundé and Douala. First First of all, even in government office, why is it that there are some positions that cannot be given to Anglophones? That's already hate speech. Does that not mean? Does that mean only take action is to hate speech? I am William, writing for Boa Bakundu. This other right, he says, Javis, we are talking of hate speech. The back. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mrs. Gotten. Good morning. The crew on duty. Cameroon doesn't have only a problem on hate speech. We need a new and strong constitution. A Cameroon where the constitution will be stronger than individuals. In short, we need a third republic in Cameroon regime in Yaoundé using divide and rule as a tool of Please, you cannot be fighting hate speech and writing hate speech now. When I don't read it, just know that it sounds what we are talking against. Good afternoon, Mr. Javis Co. I am particularly pleased that Barrister Ashu Emmanuel has just said what I have in mind. The Bilingualism and Multiculturalism Commission is not an instrument for stamping out hate speech and venoms, anti-ethnic feelings, strong and legislation, proper investigation mechanism, and impartial sanction is the panacea against such ill feeling. Mwalimu Pisong, writing from I'm sure it should be Tico. This other right, it says, good afternoon to you guys. Nice program. Thank you very much, Barrister Ashu, and all who are here present for the program. Thank you very much. This one is coming from Ndakas in Yaoundé. Right? I enjoy the program. Hate speech is really something alarming in Cameroon. I remember my university days when I asked a question in English and a professor asked us in class in French, asked us in class in French, qui peut traduire en anglais? Je ne comprends pas les anglais. Imagine he ended up without answering the question, and where we termed les Anglo, and that intimidated most of us. At times in French universities, they will tell you to go back to University of Bamenda or Boya where they speak English. We really need to work in order to improve or eliminate hate speech in country. Greetings to my history teacher, Mr. Dewum Emmanuel. This is coming from Da Kassian Ngam in Yaoundé. Stephen, we have had an increase in hate speech. This is an issue which is coming also at the time when the Bilingualism Commission has been created, but we're experiencing hate speech from Jangre groups, right? From Moliko. Let me just use Moliko as an example, or Munya as an example. When you go down here, the kind of rhetoric that which is being used by either those on the street calling some we will speak French language, derogatory languages, those in English, sometimes attacking them. What do you make of this kind of situation where we have a Bilingualism Commission and we also have a law against hate speech in Cameroon?
Mr. Javis, thank you very much for the question. I want to begin by saying that yesterday we were celebrating the National Unity Day. And if we were celebrating that day, which of course was the 51st celebration or anniversary, it means that we come a long way. And of course, we have a long way to go. And if we have identified certain issues in our society which we don't think is right, we have first of all the obligation on this panel to correct the wrong and propose a better future or what we want to see obtained in our society. I want to begin first of all by replying to Dr. Ako that please, he is somebody I respect, and I'm sure a lot of our viewers out there, wherever they are coming from, also respect him a lot. And he should not fight hate speech by propagating hate speech. Because when he mentioned the Bakure people here, I want to say I'm not a judge, but I qualify that as hate speech. And that aside, I want to tell you, Mr. Javis, we have a problem in Cameroon, a serious one at that. And you see the political big guns, even the CPDM strives because they have understood this aspect very seriously. As a matter of fact, they study it and they know that it's a leverage for them. Cameroon is a nation made up of about 260 tribes. And of course, those tribes, if you go to every region of the country, the 10 regions that are found in the country, you will meet that every region they have tribes. It's not like one region is made up of one single tribe. No, every region has at least 30, 40, 50 tribes. Some of them have 10, 20, and that will not change. Cameroon has different religions. We have the Christians, we have the Muslims, we have the Buddhists. In fact, there is freedom of religion. Cameroon is in Africa, and because of these cultural differences, language differences, and more importantly, because we don't only have those differences in language because of the cultures we come from, but I mean our African cultures, but it's a nation that was administered by two different colonial masters. And of course our past makes us to speak French, speak English, so you see the confusion, which is supposed to be an advantage, is just so much, and some persons are using this. I think the main problem, because we will keep talking about hate speech in Cameroon, the Ministry of Communications, together with the head of the bilingualism, promotion of bilingualism and multiculturalism commission, the Minister of Territorial Administration, they gathered on the 17th Wednesday to talk about hate speech and how to go about to curb hate speech. I want to say that it will be a very difficult task for them to do, because you cannot just end hate speech without knowing where hate speech is coming from. If you have not diagnosed the problem, you cannot proffer a solution. Why is there a rise of hate speech in Cameroon? That should be the first question. Once you have answered that question, then you can go about solving hate speech. And the reason why there is a rise in hate speech in Cameroon is because of hunger. There are not two other things. Wherever you go, wherever you hear people trying to defend, whether for political, the fact is that most often you will hear our political elite, since they represent the people. You may argue that however you want, but they represent the aspirations of the people. They are the ones in most cases who may use these languages. And of course, they have the media, they have the phone, the social media, the press, the TV in front of them all the time. And sometimes when they say certain things, it may go out of proportion. But the truth is that you will often hear that in our society. Why is there a rise in hate speech? It's hunger. And why is there hunger? Because the resources of the land have not been distributed equitably.
But wait, I'm not cutting you short. You have brought an issue that the issue of hate speech increase in Cameroon is because of hunger. But what of a situation where we see hate speech promoted by well-to-do men? Well-to-do men. No. Are they also hungry? But whenever you go to the villages, let me come. You answer my question. Let me come. You answer my question. Yeah. When you go to like Mamu village, those villages, the ordinary Mamu man is quiet. It has no problem with it's receptive with whoever comes from wherever. You go to Lesoka, the ordinary Mami there is receptive. In fact, you go, they'll give you kwakoko to eat. You go to Miami, the same. The ordinary, a typical villager who doesn't enjoy the benefit of electricity, hospital, even good road, still receptive. But you look at those who are educated, ministers guarded, they are the one promoting hate speech. How do we strike the balance? Is it that they are more hungry than those who don't even have these amenities? How
hunger is in the balance, Mr. Javis. Hunger is in levels. When you are managing in your one bedroom, you may term hunger as what to eat for that moment. Once you have something to eat at that moment, you are no longer hungry. So another person who has secured a salary, he may term hunger what he will eat in 1 month. To somebody who is a millionaire, He may term hunger the fact that he has not built another house somewhere. So hunger to different persons is different, is in stages. So when I say the problem is hunger, it means that the fact that I have 10 houses doesn't mean that if I'm supposed to have an 11th and I deserve it, you should not give me. It means that persons have been deprived of what is theirs or what can be theirs. And of course, they will agitate, whether political positions, because that is also hunger.
Okay.
Because I have said it before, politics is a career for persons who have decided to enter into that game. Because sometimes we tend to think that politicians are a different kind of people. No, people choose to do politics and they take it as a career and they have their career objectives. And if you would deprive them from achieving those career objectives, which under normal circumstances they should be there, then it's hunger to them.
Okay.
You have deprived them. So hate speech in Cameroon will end when the government, beginning with the head of state, will start first of all by respecting the laws, like the quotas that exist in our nation in appointment. I have said that before. I keep saying it again. If the quotas that is respected to ensure regional balance are not being respected, because when you go to Enam and you find out that there are 80 persons who have been selected,
you have still not answered my question,
and
Mambo.
50 are coming.
Mambo, you have still not answered my question.
Please, you are diverting.
I'm not diverting.
I'm answering your question.
No.
But probably you don't want. Like this answer.
No. It's not like I don't like the answer. I like every answer.
Okay, go
and
ahead.
I also respect your opinion.
Go ahead.
My question to you, because you are still going back to quota, you are saying that if
Yeah.
quotas are respected, you fight against his speech. My question back to you: if you go to Bombay Bakundo, the mommy in Bombay Bakundo, the pa will receive you well and give you cola. You say, I'm from this side. You say, hey, how is that side? I used to have a friend from that side.
Yes.
Nicely.
Yes.
But when it comes to the political elite, who enjoy this quota, why are they propagating the same hate speech? Who are at the apex of political
My brother,
appointment?
the fight in San Melima did not happen because of elite.
No, it did.
It was local people who had started with. No, it was they came in later. They came in later.
Let him land.
Maybe I may be mistaken there. I may be mistaken
Yes,
there.
that's what I'm saying.
But what I'm saying is that they came in halfway, and we should understand one thing, right? If you don't take the process from the beginning, because when there is no respect of law, there is anarchy. When there is no respect of law, that law, you may be looking at this quota thing to be very normal to you. Some political elites feel threatened because others are taking and have taken positions they think they could have obtained. It's a fact. You cannot say that a region in a public exam should have 8% in that public exam, and then the right is one person, sometimes none, who is there. Who do you think should defend that? The political elites, obviously, and they'll not defend it by maybe talking a lot. They will defend it by going to lobby for positions. So we are not the basic laws that are even there, because hate speech, actually there is not much written about hate speech.
Still answer my question,
even the punishment. No. Listen, I'm telling you what is the problem in Cameroon.
That's part
it's
of
a
the
respect of law. Even those who have propagated hate speech, who have not been punished, it's because law is not respected.
Okay. Yeah,
so when law is not,
agree.
Barrister was talking here, when somebody uses speech against you, come to us, we'll drag the person to court. And you were saying that when they take people to court, how can you take the court to court? It means that you are accepting the fact that the problem is the rule of law. And the rule of law will only bring solutions to problems when they apply it to everybody. And secondly, because people are hungry, listen, when you go to the man in the street, right? Because we all have the same problem. You may not see hate speech there. You may not see the division. Because when I want to take a bike to come here, I don't look at a Nordist that no, you don't carry me. I'm in a haste to go somewhere, and maybe it's that person that is available. He will carry me. But there are positions that when you will attain, because of fear of losing that position, since you know that law does not even keep your position that you merit, you will be tempted to protect certain interests. So once the law will be applied, once there will be equitable distribution of income, nobody will have time for what whoever is doing anywhere. If you are busy, imagine that the civil service of Cameroon is employing 300,000 persons, and we have 15 million potential and able workers, and it means that millions of persons are.
You are right.
Are unemployed.
I know. I wanted to.
What do you tell them when they hear that a certain region has swept almost all of the recruitment opportunities?
Of course.
What do you tell them when the police will want to recruit 4,000 and 1,000 is coming from a particular area? They'll call you sardinas, they'll call you tontinas. You will not stop them, because their problem is that they have identified that those people are keeping everything for themselves. And when they will express, because they don't have any other means, if they go to the court, you will win them. If they want to come physically, you use military on them. So they'll use hate speech. And thank God, by their standard, social media is available. They will say the things and it will spread to hurt you, and at least they will obtain some level of satisfaction. So if they cannot take you to court, if they cannot...
it's just that...
briefly, so I get to senior advisor.
Stephen Wambo, there is one thing in Cameroon. There's greed, and greed is different from hunger. There is, how can I call, egocentric, self-centered tendencies. They are not hunger issues. When you have a conference like the one we just organized, it was not organized by a common man. That conference in the South was organized by the Anglophone, Southern Cameroonian, Southwest elites. Highly developed, mature. They even live better than you are. And they have a lot. They don't even need to fight on common things against another person. They are supposed to educate us, and not us educating them. I was saying here that when it came into the CDC land saga, when we brought the problem here and we spoke well, a lot of land titles were annulled by the government on those pieces of land. And so this one too, we have a duty to tell them that what they are doing is not correct.
It was not organized by a tribe. I corrected by the fact that you stigmatized.
No, I'm coming to this. I'm just trying to respond to what you are saying.
Okay.
That where we are
is greed.
It's greed.
And not just hunger.
It's not hunger. Some people believe that some positions have been taken by others because they are in their region. Some people believe that certain positions are given to them because they are more than them, that their number has outclassed them. So if allowed like that, they will continue taking all. Some time ago, people thought that after Philemon Yang, it will still be another Northwesterner. I was talking something yesterday. There was a great tussle between Achidi Achu and Nichon Frundi in Santa. Or to an extent that people thought that they would one day exchange.
My brother, let me disturb you there that we are not discussing the
I'm just trying to tell you
Prime Minister issue here. That's a diversion in the unifying force of the Anglophone people.
No, what I'm saying is that we perpetrate a lot of things.
We are one people and we will remain one people.
We have not refused.
Yes.
I'm saying that the fight of hate speech.
Those people who want to hear those things, the opportunity that their message is being amplified.
Please, you probably does not want to understand what I'm saying.
No, I don't want
I'm telling you that the greatest level of hate speech is not among those people who are hungry. I don't know whether you are still getting. That's what I'm telling you, that the top people who promote that. That's the cycle.
Okay, Doctor, we will get back to you. Let's get to Senior Barrister Senior Barrister Ashu. Please. Let's take on some few messages before coming to Senior Barrister Ashu, because he has not at least been talking. People have monopolized the platform, and the president is here, so he's supposed to talk.
Anyway, he's the president. If not, say.
Good afternoon to you in the studio. I just want to congratulate Mr. Emmanuel on the way he has been advising Cameroonians on public platforms. Sir, I will be happy if I have his number, Mr. Etienne, writing from Yaoundé. After this program, please do wait to write with Mr. Etienne. Good afternoon, everyone in the house. I really enjoy the program. In Cameroon, people use hate speech to elevate themselves. That is to gain position in the government, especially this
It was quite a name.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Javis, and entire crew. What is Mwambo talking about? How many times have we seen that in the Southwest asking people to leave? Even the mayor of Boya once said all the atrocities in Boya is being caused by strangers. This one, right. Good afternoon to you in the studio. Nice program. But you people have not been allowing Senior Barrister to talk. This is coming from Joel in Boya. Joel, Senior Barrister will talk. Good afternoon, my media partner. I had been anxious waiting for the program. It gives me joy listening to great minds like you people in the studio, especially the like of Senior Barrister Ako, Barrister Achun Diwum Emmanuel, and Mwambo, who is just coming in on the program. I love how frank they are in their contribution about the way the law has been rubbed into mud in our country. Indeed, many people are untouched by the law, touchable by the law when they propagate hate speech, as long as they try to stand with the government. We can't imagine how freely they called Moja in Boya, call names and even torture. Thank you, TP in Yaoundé. Your message is gotten. Good afternoon, Mr. Javis and Co. His speech started from the government and is done through some policy put in place, which means it started from the top to bottom. When the constitution has it clear for Anglophone, even during the Anglophone crisis, some would tell you that Southwest Tina can offer. Thank you. Your message is gotten. Mr. Javis, extend my greetings to Bobby Emmanuel and we from proud of you. This is one Nerus from Yaoundé. Good afternoon, Mr. Javis. Good afternoon. Greeting to you all viewers, my Mr. Prime and panelists, Mr. Special regard to Mr. Doom and Barrister Achu. They have always been speaking my mind. The voice of voiceless Cameroonians. Their speech against Bamendas is just too much, but his speech. I know I will come there. Good afternoon, Ta. Why this issue of hate speech solely limited to the Southwesterners, say to a Northwesterner? It is equally commonplace to hear Southwesterner being tagged as Chopbrook Port, lazy people, Aquara, that. Let us get serious and treat this issue of hate speech frontally rather than making lopsided and unsustainable argument about his speech. Barrister Ebai Stanley Ekwala, writing there from Tico. This one, Javis, I am from Fako, but my brother and sister from that exaggerate years. I used to feel bad since my husband is from the grass field where I am greatly welcome. I have told my children to get married from Nalowa Nche. Senior Barrister, the messages are so many. Senior Barrister, how do we get away from here? Because he raised an issue that it is hunger. But Barrister Dr. Ako John stated that it's greed. And when we look at this, where is the place of Reform Party in fighting against hate speech in Cameroon?
Thank you. Let me take some issues that have been raised by Mr. Mwambo. Okay, Mr. Mwambo was trying to say something very pertinent. You see, erecting tribalism and favoritism into a rule of governance creates frustration that can only be vented out through hate speech. You see, that's what he was trying to say. You see, when you have in a government having 70 ministers, you have 45 from one region. You see, this creates frustration in the minds of the other populations. You have 10 governors, 7 are from one region. You have in one region, 58 the Procureur General, all the Procureur Public, all from one region. No, he is very correct. You see, all this type of behavior creates frustration in the minds of other citizens, and that can only give rise to hate speech, which is the weapon of the weak. Somehow, when these people express themselves by insulting the people who are in government, they feel relieved. But Mr. Mambo, that's not the solution. He asked me what Reform Party
was the place of
has to offer. I want to give you something that will lay some of your troubles to rest. You see, Reform Party proposes that we don't need 70 ministers. we need 9 ministers, 1 prime minister, each region giving a minister, and each division, and the ministers in each region rotating per division. You see, so that at every time, whether you are in government or not, you should have somebody in government. I don't need to be president so as to have 8 ministers out of the 10. No, every region must give a minister, and inside every region, every division will have to give a minister at his own time. And you go down just like that up to the sub-divisional level. So no, you will not have any frustration. If Reform Party is in power, you expect to have that one. Now, then you come back now to this thing of examinations and competitive examinations. This is total tomfoolery. We all see what is happening. It is all as a result of what my brother here calls greed. Why would you, for the entrance exam into competitive entrance exam into medical school, you take 90 from your region, then the host region itself has nothing? How? What do you think you are doing? I mean, it's greed, excessive
So
greed.
it's a catalyst to hate speech.
The people of that region, even when they see those students, how do you think they welcome them? How do you think they welcome them? No, this is bad. This is bad. This is misbehavior. So you see, we of the Reform Party think that these things have to be regularized. All the entrance examinations. I mean, there is no reason why a host region should not have a quota. You the host region must have a quota, and all the other regions must also have their quota.
But
So as not to create unnecessary frustration.
Senior barrister, should we now go on quota than competence? Maybe
No. We are talking about We are talking about. Excuse me. We are talking about competitive exams.
Yes.
So you don't talk competence in the competitive
No,
exam.
because even in the competitiveness of the exam, we have seen competitive nature of selecting.
Please, competitive exam. It is the best, the first. They say five. It's the first 5. So now here is the problem. The respect. Seeing to it that the quota is respected. Of course, there should be a supervisory authority. Don't leave it in the hands of, like, if you take University of Boya and you take somebody from Littoral and put there, he will make sure that all his people from Littoral are. So you make sure that it is the University of Boya. Put some Boya person there and let the supervisory authority be from a different region. That way you will not have people conniving. They will not connive not to respect the law. You see? So that's what I had to say in relation to the worries that you have. Now, we are talking about hate speech. You earlier talked about our Southwest Peace and Development
Forum,
which I have heard some people describing it as a shame.
the Guardian Post, published
shame conference.
Yeah, the Guardian Post talked about it and stated that.
How can people who are, I mean, if you look at the people who attended the thing, about half of the hall was full of PhD.
Yes, spring.
PhD holders.
No, academicians.
I am not asking you, sir.
I was there.
I said
Academicians were there.
about half of the hall was full of PhD people. Now, these are the people, if you understand me, sir, I mean top brass.
Brain.
The brains.
Level-headed people.
The brains. Now, they say the problems of Southwest are caused by strangers.
Outsiders.
These are people who don't like the head of state. They are people who don't like Cameroon constitution, which states that everybody should feel at home in this country. Wherever you go, you should feel at home. How can people of that magnitude claim describe other Cameroonians who have chosen to live in Southwest strangers? And who are they calling strangers?
Egyptians.
Are they people from Egypt, like who came to march, to help us march, conduct a march in Yaoundé? Or they are talking about Cameroonians who simply left, felt that, for instance, okay, Douala is too hot. I have a neighbor here in Douala who is living in Boya. I have a colleague. He has left Douala here. He's living in Boya. His wife is a pharmacist in Boya. He is living there with her. He says Douala is too hot. I mean, is that the type of person you call a stranger? What nonsense is that? Look, I was asking these people the first question: who organized that forum, and what were the criteria for choosing the people who went there? What was the criteria for choosing people who attended that thing? Because I mean, it was a nonsensical nonsense of a conference. I am not insulting anybody. I am not insulting anybody. I am describing the conference. I say it was a nonsensical nonsense of a conference. Because, look at it. These are people who in a war situation. The population is a victim between two warring factors. You leave the warring parties and you can't call the victims to sit and talk about peace. That's why I'm telling you that it was a nonsensical nonsense of a conference. Because the people who were involved in the fighting were not inside the conference. You were bringing victims to come and talk, and most of them came from Yaoundé.
Some separatist fighters were there that they dropped their arms, eh?
Go and sleep. What are you talking about? They dropped their arms. Are they still valid? Are they still involved in the fighting? If they have dropped their arms, then they are as useless as the people who are suffering inside the towns. So look, we should, if we want to organize a conference for peace, let us look for things that can bring peace. You are talking of peace and development, concrete elements that can bring about peace and development. Don't go call people to come and drink matango and eat chicken and say they are discussing peace. And then they begin to talk about, begin to insult their brothers and say they are strangers. Look, this is very bad.
Yeah.
If the government, because the government ought to sanction these fellows for those type of utterances. How can a whole senator? I saw a senator take the restroom to talk. People we hate, people don't like. You don't like who?
Each family has at least one child.
You don't like. I mean, this is hate speech. It's hate speech. You know what? If you don't like it, Mr. Ta, me, I'll tell him, Mr. Mbela, that is hate speech. It is hate speech. Leave his name. He said it. It is hate speech.
No,
Why would he say that he doesn't like people? Why?
No, maybe he was quoted out of context. Maybe he was.
I heard him out of context. You mean that I heard him out of context?
Maybe he was taken out of context.
Okay.
Maybe.
There are people that he doesn't like. Why?
No,
Why
maybe he was taken out of context.
Has he ever created a human being? Then you don't be liking some people. Why?
Thank you.
No, it's not correct.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And maybe again we take exception to that. Maybe he was taken out of context, and we are not responsible for that, Senior Barrister. That's your opinion. We respect it, but we don't promote. Hello, Javis. I love the program. My regards to them for their amazing facts. May the power that be hear us. And Pan Ken writing from Bam Golang. This one right. It says, "Good afternoon, my media prime Javis. I really like your program. Our country is facing too much challenge. I remember 1991. I wrote the police concours. The result came out favoring these people with almost 90%. Thank you very much. I will not call the name of, because we are in a dicey situation in Cameroon. Good afternoon to you. All which the Bilingualism Commission we are talking about. The president doesn't speak English, simple English. Somewhere from Cameroon. All right, good afternoon to you in the studio. Hate speech has gone a long way to create disunity, and I think that the only way to change the minds of people is greed and envy is greatly encouraging hate speech in Cameroon. No hate speech, yes to change of government. This is coming from anonymous sender. This one right there. Good afternoon, Mr. Javis. Good job. The solution of hate speech is to dissolve the root of hate speech, CPDM party. And okay, thank you very much. Joel Tayon writing from Van. Good afternoon. Really love the program. Those of you who are writing to us, good afternoon. Happy Sunday. It is Kombe Fred from Bamenda. Proof that government support his speech, especially when the Anglophone crack down or destroy another Anglophone is deprived from their right. Nalu, thank you very much. I'm sure I'm doing Emmanuel. How do we resolve this issue? Because I really never wanted us to look at the issue of the Southwest Regional Forum, because the Guardian Post actually
I'm not talking about it because to me it is a non-event. It is a non-event.
So how do we now go away from how do we resolve this hate speech issue? You talked about the fact that we don't respect the laws, yes, but what can the common man do?
Yes, before I answer that, I want to tell you why I say what happened in Southwest is a non-event. It was simply what happened in Southwest was a subset of the national monologue that happened in Yaoundé, where one morning people just decided that, look, we have had a lot of money, let's organize some civilian family conference. So to me, it is a non-event. It's a grumble and stay. There is nothing that will happen. If I have to live in Boya today, I will live. If you like to Manye, Mental, and Guy, wherever I want, I will go and live there. It's Cameroon, and I'm a Cameroonian. And if you try to hurt me, I will take you to the court. That said, when you are asking the way forward, you know we are dealing with a regime that has put cotton wool into their ears. If this regime was listening to the citizens of this country, Cameroon would have been the best country. This is the only country where those in power has refused to take criticism for the betterment of the country. Rather, they will consider that they will rather consider you to be an enemy of the state when you keep on telling them what is supposed to be done. I simply want to think the first person who is supposed to show proof of respect of law in this country is the president of the country. But in every case, we have discovered that he's the first person breaking the rule of law. When we talk about the Article 66 in the Constitution, because today, if I'm telling you that we should write another Constitution apportioning the sanctions that should be meted on hate speech utterances in public, I am wrong. It is not like we don't have a constitution. It is not like we don't have good laws. We have them. But the problem is that the applicability of those laws are selective. The law is only applied on you in Cameroon when they know that you do not belong to that class of the liars. Let me tell you, those
Class of what?
class of liars who are ruling the country. And I'm telling you that in Cameroon, you can insult.
That's hate speech.
Yes.
Have I called somebody named
No,
here?
no. No, please.
I'm not. I said to be a liar.
No, please.
It's not hate speech.
It's hate speech.
We have
It's
seen
hate
them
speech,
lie in public.
No, please.
Okay, you want to tell me that those who come out and say
Be moderate, sir.
there is no war in Northwest, everything is back
You're
to
talking
normal.
about people governing the country. Be moderate.
Is it hate speech?
No,
Is it a lie or
we are
not?
not refusing that. There are
So I am
facts.
s-
We are-
so-
progress.
Now
So
you
I'm
have
more
struggled.
about
You
that.
have struggled to.
No, I just wanted to
divert
remove
me.
the aspect that we should not.
Next
allow
time you
this-
have to permit me to flow. I am saying that such people go scot-free because it suffices to insult a particular to insult a particular region. You turn around, you dance, you thank the head of state. You are free because such people have never been punished. Those people who are in the ranks of the government, high top ranking government officials, are the people who are engineering the highest hate speech in this country. Yet they are untouchable. I just cited you the case of the governor who called people dogs. What happened to him? Nothing was done. I cited you the case of Minister of Justice addressing
That was
some
before.
partners.
Those were before the
Before,
bilingualism commissioner. All things have passed away. and all things have become new.
Please, I will be very
Yes,
categorical.
never
I will be very
apologize for
categorical
that.
with you. The bilingualism commission has nothing as a tool to effect the fight for hate speech in Cameroon. Even the commonest things that we thought that they could solve, they have not been able to. Just simple translation. You see, arrêté in French, translated in English as an arrest. Simply because these people are there to eat their money free. I mean, they are not active. They are not active. That bilingualism commission is just like any other commission in Cameroon that is created with a primordial objective to squander the taxpayers' money. It is useless. It is part of the institution in Cameroon that should be scaled off. It has no impact. Tell me, in Douala, do we have where is the bilingualism commission office hosted in Douala? Find out. Bamenda, Boya, East region. It's all about Yaoundé. Yet, even translation in Yaoundé, it is above them.
So we have
I would
to
have
rest.
thought that, I would have equally thought that the bilingualism commission should hold the head of state accountable. Okay? So that the head of state for 39 years, or for how many years, has been speaking only in French. One day he addresses the nation in both languages. He should not come and address, and then another person does the translation for him. That should equally be a duty of the Bilingualism Commission. And to be very succinct with you, I am saying that the Bilingualism Commission, if it can fail, even in the domain of just simply translating documents in the country, it can never succeed to fight hate speech.
Okay.
Because even those in that commission are the leaders of the hate speech in this country.
Thank you very much. We cannot prove that with fact that they are leaders of hate speech in this country. Stephen Mambo, where do we go from here? Senior Barrister has brought your point that what you are saying is true in terms of fighting hate speech. But how do we go now to help the common man who is buying this hate speech not to buy what some of these political class are pushing?
Mr. Javis, please, permit me before I tackle your question, I would like to address two issues. First, Barrister Ashu spoke about, even Mr. Ndiwum spoke about the Southwest Peace and Development Forum and rubbished it. And I've read a lot of articles, a lot of posts, a lot of things on that in various forums. And I want to say that as an individual, I will tell them maybe to reframe or probably even apologize to the organizers of that conference. You see, we have a serious problem as a people because I live in Buea. None of them lives in Buea. They are here in Douala. And just like some of the persons who are living in Yaoundé or abroad, everybody is proposing and making their own statement as far as the crisis in Cameroon is concerned. I want to use this opportunity to tell the president of the Southwest Regional Assembly that I, as a Southwesterner, I, as a Cameroonian, am very proud of him for organizing that forum. Why do I say so? Few weeks before that, I talked about that forum, and I castigated it in many ways. That the forum was not inclusive, how did they get criteria to get persons to come and speak and all of that. But I decided to attend that forum because I wanted to be part of it and see what will come out from it. Now that was an opportunity for the people in the region who are going through the crisis to meet. Even if nothing will come out from it, but it was an opportunity to solve problems.
How they can propose.
And every Anglophone and Cameroonian should applaud such an initiative. And better say that next time, probably we want that every year or once every 6 months until the crisis comes to an end. We want to see more of that, but we will propose that next time they should include these persons, they should include these ones, or maybe before the forum was at a regional level, we should do it at a divisional level, yes, to get every person included. Because anything that will be done to save one life in the Southwest and Northwest, one life, I applaud it.
But there is an issue. There is
no, you answer. Amplifying. No, you answer. They are amplifying.
You answer. I want to cue you. I want to cue you. There is an issue. I totally accept your view because last week I talked about the fact that every initiative geared towards organizing peace in this region should be accepted, and that peace is a process, not an event, and also ensure that it takes time to build peace.
Of course.
Now, their issue was that some of the speakers raised hate speech. That's where they are coming from.
Thank you.
Will you also refuse the fact that this?
Yes. The problem is that they said it was a non-event. It was a nonsensical. I said both of them. Mr. Ndiwum said it's a non-event. Senior Barrister said it's a nonsensical and nonsense. And of course, I don't accept that. You cannot amplify, maybe, because even the senator he's talking about, he came out to clarify what he was saying. He may understand it in his own context.
Yeah, that's
his opinion. That's his opinion. But they have not spoken one thing about the conference, a positive thing. And how do we get to peace when the parliament refuses to talk about the situation in the northwest and southwest, when the president has not actively involved himself? Because Mr. Confiance Ebune, who was the director of cabinet of the prime ministry, said something there, and that I take very seriously. That the special status that was given to the southwest and northwest region is empty. You have the obligation to put the content.
But wait, let me ask you briefly.
No, please excuse me. No, let me finish. If he gave that opportunity, it's another word telling you that you have the responsibility to solve your problems.
Okay.
And listen, please, listen. You are talking something else. You are not in the region. So don't rubbish. No,
there's no time.
Don't rubbish an attempt to bring peace in the region.
Yes.
Don't rubbish an attempt to bring peace in Cameroon.
I accept.
Secondly, before I end, I will land. Before I end, I want Mr. Ndiwum to know that he is shooting at a wrong target when he is blaming the Bilingualism Commission. The Bilingualism Commission, like CONAP, doesn't have the powers to prosecute persons for hate speech. But we have a penal code.
We're out of time.
Please, let me finish. We have a penal code. I have been talking just for 4 minutes. We have a penal code. You spoke for 12. I'm
looking at first time.
Please, excuse me. Please, no. Excuse me. If you don't interject me, I'll finish first. The Bilingualism Commission is not the law of Cameroon. The penal code speaks about punishing hate speech. And so the courts and the law and the Minister of Justice and the President of the Republic, who is the chief judge of this nation, they have the responsibility to ensure that persons who use hate speech are punished, not the Bilingualism Commission.
Thank you. I need just a yes or no. You said the parliament had not spoken about it, yes, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Now, in that forum, were there not parliamentarians and senators there? Who were supposed to talk about it in the parliament?
They were. They are not the president of the parliament.
Thank you very much.
It's a responsibility of the president to create the agenda for the day.
We are out
Mr.
of time.
Stephen Wabo, yes, I know. One thing we need to get clear, there's what we call private member bills at the level of the parliament. As members of parliament, you have the right to table.
Yes,
private member bills, tabled by members of parliament. Then secondly, if Cameroon has to get out of this, because we have been talking about
I asked him how to get out of it.
We have to get out of this. One of the things which Cameroonians are clamoring is a change and the vision of the form of the state. It is better we get back to federation. And so federation will mean we have elected officials. No, why? Let's elect our officials.
We're out of time.
Yes, I know. Let's elect our officials at every level so that we stop pointing fingers. They have appointed this and they did not appoint us.
Okay.
Yes. Secondly, we have to believe in the creation of wealth throughout the nations. Economic activity should not concentrate on one region.
One of the proposal of the peace.
Yes, doctor.
Yes.
Doctor, we're out of time.
Yes. No, Tama, we have even 1 minute from the other program. I'm telling you that if we have to create wealth all over,
Doctor, we're out of time.
you find a reduction in rural exodus. People will not be leaving their region to other regions.
We're out of time.
So we need to equate.
Thank you for
that companies in Douala should equally be in Bamenda and everywhere to get wealth evenly distributed.
Thank you. Tikum Titus, thank you for your message. I don't have time to read all of the messages now. All those of you who have been writing to us, thank you for your message. And also, thank you for your message. Colin Maxwell from My Folly Mendiwum, Emmanuel, thank you for coming.
It's always a pleasure.
Thank you very much for coming. Senior Barrister Ashu Emmanuel. We know we have not had time to speak because of the too much argument. Thank you for coming. I just hope that maybe next week, if you are free, we can look at this Reform Party one-on-one issue on tackling the root causes of hate speech and vis-a-vis.
I'm free
corruption.
every time you need me, sir.
So next week, we take a rendezvous one-on-one.
It's an appointment, sir.
Thank you for coming.
One of the causes of hate speech is land reform. So I think we are going to talk on that, and we'll tell you what proposals we have for land reform so that people should stop telling other people to go back to their homes.
Thank you.
Sell their inheritance.
Thank you, Mola, for coming.
I'm so happy I came. I'm Thank you for welcoming me. Thank you.
So can all the Southwest senators and Northwest senators together and member of parliament come together and put the private member bill?
Of course,
so that we can resolve
want them
this
to
issue.
do that.
Thank you very much, Desmond Akeba. Alain, thank you to the technical team on board here, the camera persons here. Thanks to all those of you who took our time to message us. This program comes to you every Thursday, Sunday at exactly 12 to 1:30, rebroadcast Sunday 10:30. If you want to be a member of the panel or participate in a debate, the number that you saw on your screen is the number you can reach me to call me, and I will include you into our WhatsApp group where we share the topic. If it's of your interest, you can participate. We'll take the rendezvous next week on Sunday with Senior Barrister Ashu on 101 as far as the topic of hate speech is concerned and the place of Reform Party. I'll leave you with this: no matter the matter, what matters is your matter, and what should matter for you is that you should stay out of trouble and say no to hate speech. My name is Tamai Javis on Commons, Commercial Capital, Douala, Fengu, John Bange, Kotobona, Musadi. Bye-bye.
Welcome to a new world of TV broadcasting.